Hi, I'm Bill Lynn. I'm the Vice President of Heritage Arsenal. Would you believe 100 years ago that something as sacred as casualty notification, where we have a loss of a service member in the U.S. military, was done very randomly, haphazardly, and done through third parties? We have actually an example of that here in the effects of Earl Charles Bennett. Earl was born in Iowa, came up to South Dakota, met a woman named Ida, and they were married in September of 1917. In April, the U.S. had declared war officially, World War I, and actually Earl found himself on the Mexican border chasing Pancho Villa with General Blackjack Pershing before he boarded a ship on the 11th of January 1918 headed for France. He got there in time to participate in the 100 Days Offensive, which broke the back of the Germans on the Western Front and brought about the peace in the world that everyone was waiting for. He was standing next to Lieutenant Louis Krause when he was struck and killed instantly by a piece of shrapnel. It took over a month for word to come back to his wife, who was visiting his parents at the time in Leicester, Iowa, through third parties, to be told that her husband was killed and that her baby son, named after him, would never see his father. What we have here is actually, he laid in a temporary grave in France, but by 1921, they brought his body back to Leicester, and the entire town turned out for a huge funeral to memorialize him. We also have the casualty certificate that would have hung in the Bennett home, and you can see it was at one time in a frame. You can see the shadow of that oval frame. As well, the family pasted a gold star indicative of a service member who's died in the service of their country, pasted that gold star next to his name. So you know that this was hung with deference, reverence, and respect in their family home and was treasured by them. And so this is an example of the great sacrifice that hundreds of thousands of soldiers made in the First World War, but also how far we've come along the lines of casualty notification that today we do in a very deliberate way.